Going cookie.
Oh no. The perfect note taker is busy with Cupcake Cookie.
The last we left off, it was just the roommates again,
Mhm.
and we were dealing with the feminist asshole,
Mhm.
and we hacked his
Not
account.
feminist, anti-feminist.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
Hacked his account and basically ruined his life. And
Yes, you
then,
have sufficiently tanked his online reputation with somebody? It was really not clear who exactly he was affiliated with that you ruined the relationship with, but you fucked something up.
And we saw kind of possibly solved the whole bugging issue.
yeah,
Yes. You
Mhm.
did manage to get to the bottom of it, and you did also manage to get in contact with the information broker who stole who was basically bugging your building. Um, he didn't bug the entire, yeah, he bugged your structure. You don't know if he did more than that, but you did end up having a conversation with him and getting information out of him on the promise that neither you or not that you just wouldn't cross paths. There would be no overlap. It would be you go your way, I go mine.
yeah.
And he told you all of the locations in the building where they would be located. You put that out on the internet, and that shit went super viral after somebody found one. Um, there was
A lot of text messaging for all three of us. Well, maybe not so much for
yeah.
Lindis, because Lindis got one text message and ran to her computer to go play games
Simp.
Yes.
with. Too cute.
Did you say ran to her computer to simp?
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
Just like, hey, want to scrim? On my way in all caps. So you fucking sprint to the computer.
Perfect.
Legacy was talking to Marcus. Kaya was getting invites to racing.
Yeah, that was the other big one, is that Kaya got an invite to a street race from a previous coworker slash union worker friend of hers. Or associate. Not necessarily like friend.
And we did use Lindis's money to shore up the discrepancy in our security so that that shit doesn't happen again.
Yes. Cool. So, as you are, I guess that was like sort of the end of the day. You spend sort of the time in the evening recuperating and decompressing from all of that. And you end up having an entire day before the street race, which happens sometime in the evening, I believe. I believe Chains said
You didn't give a time.
I think he said
Yeah.
a few like 2 days
Yep.
from now or something.
Mhm. 2 days
Yeah.
from now in a certain ward.
And as somebody who lives in a city that's plagued by street racing, it all happens after like 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here it is. The Sihin Ward. Sixin Ward. I don't know how to actually say that word. But whatever. The Sihin Ward in downtown Neon Tokyo, not Neo Tokyo. That's an anime. But yeah, until that time, which it's basically going to be like pitch dark. You want it to be nighttime, and then all the neon will light up the sky, and that will be when you actually have the race. But until then, You have this moment to run out and buy supplies or prepare and do whatever you need if you would like to do that. You can check local news sources to see if anything interesting or intriguing has happened. You could reach out to Marcus again to see what's up with him.
Oh. I need to pull up the book for this stuff.
Time for Z to simp.
Come on, what legacy simp?
This would be the time to go through what is it? The assets. And see if you can find any assets you might want.
That's what I'm actually doing
and then
right
you
now.
Yeah, because now you have the time to run through and find these things. You're going to end up using more of Lindis's money. Unless
Yay.
someone else has any money.
I mean,
I was also, it's like if we have a full day, then theoretically we could try a gig app thing or something.
You can flip on a gig app. I will also tell you, Legacy, you know that. Hold on, what's his name? Hijack. He actually uses gig apps quite frequently as like a worker, as a gig worker. So if you didn't know like how to actually go about doing that or weren't sure, you could ask him, or he could probably set you up with someone, or etc. etc.
Lindis has Roof Dash already.
Roof Dash. Yeah, the delivery system is very Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Dang it. Of that, and I have that, and of that. It's like, is it possible to just have all of the programs?
Yeah, I mean, to have the apps, yeah, you can have all the apps. It's just a matter of what one you want to use.
I'm actually looking at assets right now, not even the apps at the moment.
I thought you were talking about the gig apps. I was like, there's no reason you can't download all of them and just say I'm using this one now.
So like just so like I'm understanding things, because I think I do, and I think I've talked about it already, but I'm distracted and not thinking straight tonight.
Uh-huh.
So like with the stuff I have for like Legacy's like setup of her being a white hat hacker for hire, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially the money that we don't get to use in game, but the money that pays for the apartment and shit, right?
Yes, that is subsumed under the burden category. So that is what pays for meals, clothing that you need, the apartment, living expenses. If you want to buy extra things or illegal things or other specific goodies, you would need cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I would just like, let me go do some more hacking.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like your 9 to 5 hacking freelance work is effectively like paying just as well your portion of the room and the cooking. You also probably pay a little more because Kaya cooks for you and Lindis spots you like video game money. But like, yeah, either way, the majority of the actual monetary income you have is spent on just survival. Cash is meant as this liquid sort of it doesn't really have a specific like it will buy you clothing in a sense that it will buy you something that stands out, and it is more than just like average pants and shirts that you would wear.
Yeah, so I mean, if nobody else is gonna do something, I guess Legacy will shoot
Oh.
Hijack a message just asking what he does, what his preferred app is.
So hijack, if you shoot hijack a message and hijack replies with, he typically uses roof dash, because that is the easiest money. You just got to make sure you know what jobs to pick, and there's a couple other unique ones, but roof dash is definitely easiest. Hunter is a little bit more risky. But he uses Hunter as a method of providing information to people in like a pseudo information broker kind of way. So if he knows that there are certain people on the wanted list, he will pursue information about those people and then sell that information. But he is actually using the gig apps more like a method of survival, whereas like you actually have a stable job with being a white hack freelancer or a white hat hacker freelancer. He doesn't
Yeah.
actually have that.
Gotcha.
1 second.
Were you gonna say something, Amy? Sounded like you were gonna say something a second ago.
Oh,
Just doorbell buzz.
oh, sorry, that was my dryer.
Okay. I thought that was some bullshit that like Joe was doing with his sound.
No.
Sorry about that. I'm
You're
just looking at the assets, being like, what would be useful in this scenario?
More tags for your machine. That's what.
Yeah, so there's a couple kind of different clients on Roof Dash, and this is information you get from the message from Hijack. There's clients who want something delivered discreetly. There's clients who want something delivered fast, and there are clients who want something delivered like in a matter of both, right? So you want it to be as discreet as possible, as fast as possible. He typically does ones where it's discreet because he's not an athletic person, so getting somewhere fast is difficult for him. The type of clients who want something delivered without being seen are the kind who you just don't ask a lot of questions about. You just kind of do what they say, and they pay you money through the app, and it's all good. But you can run through and pull it up and get a whole bunch of different hits. I will also say, if you're flipping through your phone, you can see a handful of like local news and information, like local news and info stuff that pops up. Basically like a quest board, like a community quest board. So the few that you get, one, two, three. I'm gonna choose 5 here. Okay, so there are 5 job like postings that you can find on local message boards and info things. The first one you can find through Roof Dash. There's a robotic valet, an android, who had to get his head repaired, and he needs it delivered because he can't see.
Poor guy.
He has access to the internet, and his current roommate is not in, so he needs someone to go pick it up and bring it to him. There's a news or help board posting for a noodle, like a ramen stand kind of thing. They need a shipment of noodles delivered to 3 different wards for 3 different noodle stands. There's also one for, and this one is a personal favorite. So you see these are all personal, like a dude who needs this posts this on a message board, right? So it's not like a mass-produced thing. There's someone who's saying there are subterranean mutants inside the sewer system of Adam's Ward, and I will pay you to take pictures of them.
Ooh.
This, for the record, this is the first time you've ever heard about mutants on Adam's Ward, or not even on Adam's Ward, on Grand Cross.
Legacy is a conspiracy theorist, though.
Oh my god.
I keep forgetting that. Yeah, you definitely you would definitely know this then. You would definitely know about the underground mutant, the subterranean mutant problem.
That's my one random shit that has nothing to do with me being a hacker. She's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. So there's noodle delivery, Android head delivery. Take pictures of mutants. I need pictures of mutants. There's a discrete delivery that, like, the wording is very vague. It has an address, it has a package description, and it has a time frame with a good chunk of money listed next to it.
I'll take that one.
And there's nothing else on it.
Sounds good. I'll take that one.
Okay. So the time frame is effectively like 2 hours.
Okay.
This dude, or the person who's put up the message, as soon as you accept it, you get a picture of basically like a 1 foot cubic box of like a brown cardboard box. It is nondescript packaging, and it is set. It's almost like a video game where you see a picture and it's like, go here to get the prize. You get a picture sent to your phone of this brown box, and it is actually like inside a potted plant in one of the upper wards. And it has an address listed to be delivered to.
Sounds good. Let's do the shady stuff.
So, just so you're aware, the package... Yeah, the package is in Voyager Ward.
Okay.
Which is like that's the big center one. That's where you went to the nightclub. The package is in a sub-district of Voyager Ward. It takes about an hour to get there because you're in a separate ward. And it has an address listed as Vern Station. So the actual... Here, I'll post this again so you can see the station map. The station map here. So you guys are in Adams Ward. And where it says Tezuka, Vern, and Harbo, those are the connecting wings to the other, like, that's the sort of connecting point on Grand Cross. So that's where you would go from, if you wanted to get from Adams Ward to Seahin Ward, you'd have to go all the way down to Vern Station, then go over to Tezuka Station, and go up to Seahin Ward, which is what you'll do for the street race. This package has an address listed for somewhere in Vern Station, which is not a place where people live. It is effectively like
Airport.
it's like a giant airport space station.
I'm moving dead drops. That's fine.
Okay, as long as you're aware.
Yeah, that was a fun morning because Piper just like, or Linda's just like wanders out, but like talking about, I gotta go get like a dead drop, and then you just see like Legacy like shoving cameras into like the hidden compartment on her arm. I'm gonna go see some mutants. I'm gonna go see.
Oh my god, you're gonna do the mutant one?
Oh, what's going on here?
I will also
What do you
say,
wanna say,
I forgot.
Kaya?
I forgot there was one more job that was posted on the message board. And it was this person created it is a picture of some type of like strange looking magnetic device, and the post describes the device as the overclock connector. You attach it to, supposedly it can be attached to any electronic device to apply an extremely potent overclocking effect to increase like the speed and power and function of whatever it's being attached to. And he needs people who want to test it on things. He encourages things like weaponry, vehicles, or limbs that you're not necessarily okay, or that you're not too upset about if they get broken.
No. Perfect for Kaya. Linda's like, I need my lungs. Thank you.
It also has a note at the very, very bottom that says, if you're a cop, you have to tell me. It's illegal if you tell me or it's illegal if you don't tell me you're a cop.
Okay, that sold me.
Okay. Okay.
3 very different types of illegal and crazy happening as the
Perfect.
roommates like scatter in the morning.
So
It's
everyone
like-
wakes up, has coffee, has waffles, and they're just like, all right, break. You all go to different fucking locations to do your weird bullshit. I thought you guys would team up on one job.
Yeah, I
didn't
thought
think
that
you
like
did all
the
3
delivery,
jobs.
Kai would get like racing practice in by helping you guys make deliveries.
Amazing.
But no, someone's gonna go sewer diving. Someone's gonna make a dead drop.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna
We
do
just
some.
have to do the
Fuck.
chaos for you, Joe. Make things
Yeah, no,
spicy.
it's gonna be great. So I wanna
Okay.
see. We're gonna do rollies. Everyone roll a d20, and highest will go first.
Roll for initiative.
Wow! Holy shit! The nat 20.
Okay, well,
Kaya's
okay,
going
what-
first.
Fuck.
We're in order now too. Look at that.
Yep,
20,
yep,
14,
all right.
9.
All right.
Shit,
So
man, I was trying to take notes. I was hoping I'd roll low.
Nope.
unfortunate.
Legs gets conspiracy, mutant job. Kaya goes for sketchy Nas.
Yep.
Okay.
Then this goes
He
crime.
nods. So this guy is he is in Amal ward, which the Amal ward is actually attached to the wing you're on. It's a pretty like fancy, gentrified upper middle class district. And as you're going there, you can actually ride your bike to this location because it's on one wing. If you wanted to ride your bike to a different wing or get it transported to a different wing, you would have to go either you'd have to get it physically shipped, like moved via what is effectively like a space ferry, or that's ferry with an E. Or you could use the very sparsely populated hyperlanes, which are exactly what you think they are. They are single to like 1 to 2 lane roads that extend in an extremely long, exaggerated loop outside the station to a confluence of lanes, like essentially like a gigantic turnpike where you can go to another ward. But I mean, most people don't want to do that because they go outside the station into cold space, and some vehicles either can't do that or people are just intimidated because it's space.
Mm-hmm.
That is both
Um,
terrifying and amazing at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking rad. But you hop on your bike and just cruise on up to Amal Ward, and once you get there, you see, um, it's Larry. um,
Can I interrupt with
oh
a very,
no,
very quick
yes,
question?
yeah,
Because I think I know this, but I have also forgotten this. The station is still in orbit, in like connection to the Earth, right?
yeah. It is orbiting the Earth.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yep. Okay. So it's actually a pretty like beautiful ride. So to get from Adams Ward to Amal Ward, you cross through Mariposa Ward, which is like the nature ward. There's big parks and like grassy areas and trees. It's very picturesque. It's one of the few areas that was created as like a a as the ward is built, it's built like a three-legged stool with each inside piece facing the others. So from the other wings, you can look up and see Mariposa Ward because it's bright green and lush and verdant. It's really pretty. But yeah, so you're just riding your motorcycle. You ride through Mariposa Ward. It's pleasant and like the filtered sunlight is coming through, and it's got this nice glow to it. And you cross through and end up getting into the what looks to be like a gentrified kind of hyper commercial like housing development area, which is the Amal Ward. As you get closer and closer to the address, you find that there is strangely enough, there is a boarding house. It is a fancy boarding house, but a boarding house nonetheless. So even in this gentrified area, not everybody is officially a 100% homeowner. As you pull up to this boarding house, you see that it split levels, so it goes part up and part down below the effectively sidewalk. The address tells you to go downward, so you start walking up and start to go down the steps, and you see this like long steely hallway that's got white/cream painted steel. It's very smooth and matte colored, so it doesn't just gleam bright sunlight. It's a stark contrast to the type of buildings that you see in Adams Ward, where it's built more for the effectiveness of just cheap steel with a sheen to it, meant to be meant to be used in mass production of home and building. This is quality material. But yeah, as you get close to this area and walk down the steps, the lower area is lit with these like really soft white lights. It looks kind of like the rebel ship area right before Darth Vader just busts in. It's kind of fancy. It's fine.
Oh god.
So as you're walking down, you see this large curved door, and it's got a little pad. It's almost a bit too clean. There's not an intuitive user face. There's no handle. There is a flat. There's like the door inside of the curved like, or not curved, but like soft rounded edge door threshold. And then there is what appears to be like a pad, like some sort of data pad laid into the wall. but there's not even like a doorknob. There's not a doorknob. There's not a handle. There's not a doorbell. It is like a data slate, and then the wall.
Huh. So the listing, is that what it is? Didn't say anything
Mhm.
about this, right?
No, it just said like he gave it lists the address, and then it lists like just like where to come. When you accepted the job, there wasn't any sort of, the guy did not reach out to you in any way, so it's just the address is here.
Okay. I knock.
You knock, and it actually sounds like a normal door, contrary to the knocks that you hear on your apartment door, which have the tinny sort of like hollow ring to it. This actually sounds like a very normal, typical wooden door, though you know it's steel. But you knock once or twice, and then there's a brief pause, and then you hear the soft like, and the door slides open vertically, much like the doors and the doors that were on the elevator in the Black Pyramid. So it opens, and you see before you a short little twiggy man with messy blonde hair and big glasses. He has blue eyes. He's a bit pasty. He is wearing a lab coat. Just very, very like dusty, beat up denim jeans with holes in the knees. He has no shoes on, and he has a white t-shirt. It looks like a really lazy, like Rick Sanchez cosplay. And you open the door and he just goes, "Oh, hi, are you the one who answered my ad?"
I believe so. Kaya holds out her hand.
He
Sorry.
reaches out and he just goes, "Hi, I'm Ben Getty. It's a pleasure to meet you. Right, so, take off shoes. Come in.
Oh,
And he
okay.
gestures inside.
All
There's
right.
there's no shoes outside. There's not like this just leads like up to the street.
You want me to take off my shoes?
Yeah, just leave him outside. And he disappears inside. You don't have to listen to him. For the
You know,
record.
I mean, Kai's gonna take off her shoes, but she's gonna carry them. She's gonna like put them in her pocket, in like what the giant like side pockets that coveralls have.
Perfect.
Just like shove her shoes in there. She's not gonna leave them outside, but like, she's gonna be polite.
Okay. Yeah, so you start to walk in. Let me get some very chill music. So, as you walk in, you start to see the environment and the ambiance change. This area is a very, very like different tone from where you were just at. So walking in, there are cables, and the walls are coated in server boxes, and like there are these rack wire cages that hold just types of boxes and machinery. And I say boxes as in like it looks like the shell of what would be a computer, but there's 5 or 6, and there are rows of these along the walls as you move in, and cables just dancing and dangling out from them, in like this cascading mess. It looks like if the entire apartment was dedicated to just housing technology. It's honestly not too disparate from your current living situation, except it's a bit more dramatic because it's one person and a much smaller space than 3 people.
Right. So,
No, go ahead.
is this like based off of what I'm seeing? Is this like a legacy workshop dream or a Kaya workshop dream?
So far, it looks like a legacy workshop dream.
Okay.
There's a lot of cables and wiring, server setups, and as you walk in, there's more monitors and system, like there's more monitors with actual system monitoring diagnostic information on them. But once you round the corner and walk into what is the main living room area, you see what appears to be a kitchen that has the counter like ripped up and reconfigured so that there is the kitchen, the fridge and the stove and the countertop as it turns and curves around the wall, and then it extends and it kind of juts into the middle of the room. Think like a gigantic boomerang shape. And on that one wing that just kind of juts out into the middle of the room, it is a massive table that has all of these like manufacturing tools on it. Like there's a micro milling machine, there's like pneumatic hammers, there's a welding kit, there's all sorts of actual like you know how to use some of this stuff. This is the type of thing that you would be excited about or the type of thing that would like scream Kaya as opposed to Legacy.
Holy shit, this is screaming Amy. Does he have a drill press?
Yeah, he actually has. Deadass has a drill press, like not stapled, but like attached and as part of the counter.
That's fucking awesome. Okay, sorry. Back to the game.
Oh, you're good. But the dude as you walk in he's walking barefoot. It's very strange. You can hear like the soft like plap of his bare feet on the steel floor. And as he's walking, he's like deftly stepping over and under and around wires and cables. He makes his way to the countertop area, and it's for all of the actual hardware and equipment, it's not really messy. There's not like debris in random spots or garbage. It's like a bunch of it's a bunch of like partially finished projects, but there's a little bit of order to it. You can see that there's a notebook open, or rather two notebooks open at 2 different stands. One of them at the milling machine, and one of them at the CNC machine where he is currently printing out a circuit board. And he walks over and grabs one near that machine and starts flipping through a couple of pages and just goes, okay, so, this, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out what looks to be imagine like a deck of cards. It's about that big, and he just goes, this guy is the revolutionary overclocker. The real question is, what do you want to test this with?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends. I want to make sure it's not going to blow up my bike before I even let it touch it.
It's not likely to blow up the bike. Is it nuclear?
Joe, is it nuclear? I don't think.
No.
I don't think, yeah, no. Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know, man. Future stuff.
There are
don't think
nuclear
it'd be-
powered vehicles, but they're very, very expensive and dangerous.
Yeah. No.
So he goes, right, so worst case, we'll just... Yeah, you know what? It's not going to be a worst case. It's going to go fine. and he like spins it around in his hand and just goes, "So, where's the bike? Parked outside?"
No, hold on. You can't
What?
just gloss over the worst case. We gotta go over the worst case.
All right. So here, and he flips to a page in his note and just goes, before I get into this, are you a technical person or are you just like a motorcycle friend?"
I'm an engineer.
Okay, but what kind of engineer? Do you know? Like, if I just start talking circuitry to you, are you gonna raise your hand every 5 seconds and ask me to explain myself?
Maybe every 2 minutes to correct you.
Ooh,
His eyebrows go up and he just goes, "Fucking clever girl. All right." And he starts
I'm
explaining to
biased.
you the basic concept of his design. It's basic in the sense that he starts throwing out a few jargon terms, sees that you're keeping up, but he doesn't want to tell you how to make it because he made it.
Understandable.
But he explains to you in simple terms that so all you have to do is make this magnetic attachment here, and he flips it over and you can see the flat surface of the magnet. He's like, it will actually transmit the signal so that the systems inside, and he pops open part of it and starts to fiddle with some of the dials on the inside.
Mhm.
It looks kind of like a little like a guitar, like something you would see at like a concert where they're adjusting the bass, treble, feedback, etc., whatever. I'm not a music person, but he turns a couple of dials and nodes and then shuts it, and he's like, but in theory, it should latch itself onto the power mechanism of whatever it's attached to, and the AI inside it will hopefully regulate the power so that it actually increases the output 400%. The downside of this is I don't know if it will work. And he just kind of sheepishly rubs the back of his head and goes, "I don't know what'll happen if there isn't a way to regulate." So, like, most machines have some sort of system built into them to do the regulation. But if there isn't a system that does that, then this actually will just crank up the power and, well, I mean, and he makes like he like pantomimes an exploding motion, just goes.
Mhm.
So, if your bike has a way to regulate the power, it should be fine.
Mm,
Should be.
and so you made something to take away the regulation to increase the output by 400%, but is it not? I, you don't gotta tell me the specifics, and I understand. But is there no way to have a second device to input a regulation with different parameters?
Well, in theory, this does all of it. This does the regulation and it does the like overall power increase, but
Mm-hmm.
it can't do all the power increasing and the regulation on its own. That's
Okay.
sort of it's imagine it like a like a dam, right? If you put
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of water behind it, then there's not. And he puts a hand to his chin and just goes, "Actually, I don't know if that makes perfect sense, but the idea is if the device can't supply enough power and enough regulation for its own sake at higher power levels, it the likely conclusion is that it will either run itself dry right away," and he snaps his fingers, "or it won't have a way to shut off, in which case you'll either have to use all the power or it would explode. Maybe. Or melt. It doesn't necessarily have to explode. Again, I'm pretty confident this will work. I do think that there's probably a 30% chance that when you actually start to use it, it will just drain the battery really quickly on whatever device you're using. Or not the battery, but like the power supply. So whatever that actually... So I don't know how it would work with a fuel-injected motorcycle, but I imagine it would probably just give you like a flat boost. So I feel like a vehicle is a great way to test it. I
Right.
didn't want to put it on anything in here because I'm connected to the major power grid, and you're not a cop, so it's okay that you know that. You even just like passingly, you know that is extremely illegal. He is
I
connected
snort.
to the main power grid of the station, and he is hijacking power from it.
Damn.
It's
Okay.
effectively like being connected to a magical ley line in the world.
Damn, why didn't I think of that?
He like winks and just goes like, yeah. But yeah, so if I put this on anything inside of my own home, and it just happens to go wrong, I might crash the station. So I
The
don't
whole
want to do that.
station. Okay.
Well, so yeah, in theory,
Yeah.
because of the way that this works, it would connect to the power source, which in this case would actually be like the engine system down past Vern Station.
Mhm.
And well, whatever regulation system is down there, which granted, the regulation system down there would be absolutely stellar, but I don't know what it would do, if it would like increase the actual corrective nature of the outside jets to just make them go absolutely fucking mental, or if it would increase the rotation such that it would increase the relative forces on all of us as we're rotating in orbit. So it might crash the station into the planet, or it might spin the station so fast that it starts to break itself into a million pieces. It might also not work, and the power coming out of the actual connection might just break the device. But I don't want to break it. I want to test it.
Of course. So, alright, before we even touch my bike, do you have any fail safes on this thing?
He holds up a finger and opens his mouth and just goes, yes. And he turns it on its side, and you can see there is like a small inscription. It looks like it effectively looks like an on-off switch. And he points to it and just goes, this actually controls the device itself. It's just a simple power switch. So if it starts to look bad, just shut it off. And likely, the regulation system of the machine itself will ratchet down the power level. Likely.
Wait, don't you want me to put this on my power supply?
Well, technically you can put it anywhere on the bike as long as there's a connection to it, like an electrical connection. It should be
Okay.
able to just jump onto the system and ledge itself onto there.
Right.
The advanced part of this machine isn't necessarily the device itself as much as it is the AI that I scripted to put inside it. The AI is doing most of the work.
The AI. What's it called?
Yeah. Well, I didn't name it.
How do you not name your AI?
He just looks at the little like square thing and then looks back at you and just goes, "What? Do you want to name it? I don't think it can hear you. I didn't give it ears."
Well, even if it can, it deserves a name. You brought it into existence. You need to name it.
He just like looks at it and then looks at you and like kind of raises an eyebrow and just goes, He pulls out his phone and then looks at the job listing and he just goes, Kaya. It's named Kaya. Congratulations.
Hey,
Kaya just face palms. You know that's cheating, right?
Well, so what? I didn't make it to name it. I made it so that I could sell it. Maybe. If it works really well, I might not sell it. I might just use it for I don't know what yet, but something.
Right. All right. So, do you want me to wheel my bike in here? Do you want?
Nah,
out
you'll
there?
probably need the road because I think your bike is going to want to go really fast. So it's best to give it a place to go fast.
You have
I
a
do
place to
not
go
want you
fast.
to go fast inside my room. He like does this
Oh.
sweeping gesture around. So I don't know if you know this, but there is an exit past Foundation that leads to the hyperlanes. I would bet that if you slapped this on your bike and it went well, you could slice through those hyperlanes so fast. It would be absolutely lethal. Not like lethal like kill you. Lethal isn't like good.
Okay. I was like, oof, I was a little worried for a second.
Nah, I'm not gonna say. Listen, if I wanted to kill you, I would have done it already.
How tall is this guy again?
He's 5'4".
All right. All right. I'm sure you could. Yeah. Sure.
Hey,
So-
he's taller than Legacy, and you've seen Legacy just do crazy shit before, so.
That's true. Oh my
let's
god.
try it at the race tomorrow.
Yeah. But hold on, Joe. Isn't that like in like space? As in like I need a spacesuit?
Yes, you would need a spacesuit unless you
Yeah.
want to die.
Yeah, I mean like I don't think I can go out there unless you actually do want to kill me.
Oh, no. Wow, you don't have a spacesuit? I could probably get one.
Yeah.
I could probably get one. Yeah.
How could you get a spacesuit on short notice in my size?
He puts a hand to his chin and just goes, I probably couldn't, not on short notice, but this, and he points between you and him, and he's like, this working relationship that we got going, I think this is good. I'm willing to put a pin in this job. I'll get you a spacesuit. You cross your heart, and swear to God that you'll slap this on your bike and run through the hyperlane. And also pay for the spacesuit.
How much is a spacesuit, Joe?
It would not be a heck of a lot. It would be the type of a transaction where you're like, fucking God, okay, fine. I guess we're gonna eat like a shitty meal 2 days in a row, but you wouldn't have to actually pay cash for it.
Okay. Alright. It's like. And assuming that this just kills me outright, then I don't think our working relationship, quote unquote, would do any good.
Oh yeah, you would be dead. So no, the working relationship would be over. Which is
Right.
why the listing asks, you have to tell me if you're a cop. Because I do not want to be liable for murder. I did not make a disclaimer because I'm doing something incredibly illegal here.
I feel like you and Legacy would get along.
I love this guy so much.
We found
Holy
Kaya's
shit.
We found Kaya's NPC for the game. We've all adopted our NPCs.
Holy shit. This guy is so interesting and weird. I love him. Um, fuck. I'm sorry. I broke at the liability discussion.
He's a very
Okay.
he's clearly a good inventor.
Yeah,
He
I can
also
see
is
that.
has the same social dysfunction that many great inventors have.
Yeah. Okay. So he's relatable. To an extent. So,
Or I could probably get you spacesuit in. He kind of waves his head back and forth. Maybe like a day, day and a half.
a, a day and a half. I've kind of got a uh, uh, very bad decision. I've kind of got a race in a day.
His
Is it
eyes
tomorrow?
go wide. Yeah, it would be tomorrow evening. So a day and a half,
Yeah.
you would get it before the race.
Yeah. So like, yeah, tomorrow night, I've kind of decided, well, against my better judgment, to agree to go to a street race.
His eyes go wide and he smiles and he's like, "Now I know you're not a cop.
Did
So you're gonna go on an illegal street race, and you just so happen to respond to my advertisement for an overclocking device that'll make your bike a fucking rocket."
listen, the
And
stakes are
he starts
high.
getting like super excited, and he's like,
All right,
"Mate,
listen, don't get too excited. All right, the stakes are
no, mate,
really
I'm already
high.
too excited. It's too late. It's too late
No,
for that."
hold on, calm back, sit back down. Don't get too excited, all right? Listen, the stakes are really high. If I lose, they're gonna take my bike, and I built him myself. I can't lose him. So you're listing.
What? I'm offended. Do you think that you'd lose if I gave you this overclocking device? What kind of
Uh,
fucking bikes are you racing against?
I don't know. I'm saying that I responded to it because the stakes are so high.
Well, I think if the stakes are that high, you need it, don't you? And he like holds it, kind of wiggles it back and forth, like this kind of like, you want to.
God, I'm making a lot of bad decisions lately, aren't I?
Does Kaya say that?
Yeah.
He just goes, "Listen, I have connected my entire living situation and everything I own to the power grid of the entire structure. I know what you're going through. Side note, power bills, not existent."
Oh my god.
Okay, and he flips the thing up in the air and catches it and sticks it in his coat breast pocket and starts to like he like reaches up and grabs you by the shoulder and starts to like turn you around, just goes, "Out you go. I'm gonna go work on getting you a spacesuit. And I will see you tomorrow evening with a spacesuit and you on your bike." He's pushing you, but you're not going anywhere. Not unless you want to. but he's very clearly committed to the idea now.
Oh my god. Yeah, she'll go along with it, but she will say she's letting him push her out. Like I want an extra failsafe on that fucking thing.
Well, I will work on something that is so fail-safe it can't fail. Like in a way that is good.
Oh my god.
After he pushes you out past the threshold, he reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a handful of cash. And he says, "So you did respond to the ad. I will give you half now and the other half upon completion of the race, but you have to come in first."
Hold on, wait.
"Oh, I'm kidding. I'll give you the rest. Just I'm not going to give it to you if you did. That is like an actual not joke. But just don't die, and you'll get the rest after the race.
Right, just don't die. It's just so easy.
Yeah, it's one job.
Alright. You know, what I think would be interesting?
He tilts his head.
Kaya, this is again Kaya making bad decisions, but also
Let's go.
this is her like trying to mess with him and like make him put his fucking like invention where his mouth is. Why don't you just join me on the test drive?
He he like furrows his eyebrow and just goes, on a motorcycle? I don't suppose you got a second seat on your motorcycle, do you? He says that like clearly being sarcastic.
Oh, are you too scared?
His face sinks a little bit and he just goes, what? You can't be serious, right? You can't actually want to put someone else on your motorcycle. That's extraordinarily dangerous. As
Is
he
it?
says that,
It's
he
like,
has
what?
this moment. He has this moment of like realization. Just goes, "Oh, I see a point."
So, two spacesuits. You're joining me?
Oh, I really, I
Hey,
don't know about.
what about a working relationship from here on out? Kaya like
Now
holds out
that's
her
not fair.
hand.
You are using my words against me, and that is not how I like to operate.
Kaya holds out her hand for our working relationship going forward.
He grimaces at your hand and he just goes, "If I can find another spacesuit that fits me, I will join you." And he clasps your hand. But you really can't die now because I'll die too, and that's not on my to-do list.
Wasn't planning on it.
He he's got a surprisingly firm grip for being such a tiny boy, and he just goes, "That's what I like to hear."
Alright. See you tomorrow.
Later, and he just takes one step back, and the door just closes.
Kaya puts back on her shoes.
And how much money did she get?
Yeah.
You effectively got 3 cash.
Larry's gonna get arms!
That's what you spend the rest of the day doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she spent the previous day, making sure Clyde was good to go. Right? I mean, he's always good to go. Yeah. That was so fun, Joe. That's
I'm
such
glad
a
you
cool
had fun.
NPC.
And his name is Ben Getty. I don't know if you got it.
I did not.
Okay.
You're
All
throwing a
right.
lot of descriptions out. Can you spell it?
Yes. Ben Getty.
Oh, that's one name.
Yes.
Alright. That's Kaya's day. Putting arms on Larry.
All right. So next is Lindis
Ask
with
me.
the ominous dead drop.
Yep.
So you get on a public transport train over to not a mall, Voyager. So as you're going over to Voyager Ward, you see the sun is shining and everything is beautiful and lit up and picturesque. As you're going, you look out and see all of the familiar sights of the previous time you've came here, and you're looking out, and you can see the Black Pyramid in the distance, just kind of ominously hanging there. It's just got a kind of foreboding quality to it because of everything that happened, and you have that sort of tingly feeling in the back of your head, reminiscent of that strange drug you took. But
Drug PTSD.
yeah, you're not sure if it's like an actual, like if it's just you remembering something, or if it's like an actual physiological response that your body has. But you do get that weird tingle. You shake it off, and you end up disembarking, and you're on Voyager Ward. Now you will have to roll me some clever checks to solve the puzzle of this picture. As you are going to have to sift through Voyager Ward for a potted plant that has a box in it. And you can use cash to, I think, boost your roll if you wanted to do that. What? Or fucking what? What is your plus 2?
Holy shit!
Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Hey. Okay, so what were your bonuses here?
I think I accidentally. Yeah, remove those. Just minus the 2. So
Okay, so 10. Still really, really good. You've done information brokerage before. Yeah. You're not a stranger to dead drops. This job, from top to bottom, is very straightforward, and if you approach it with the right mindset, you will exit it having been paid and not having gotten in anyone's way, and not having anything but money in your pocket. That said, Voyager Ward is big and bustling. There are a lot of areas it could be stuffed in and hidden. But you spend about, with a 10, you spend probably 30 minutes searching in the major commercial areas before eventually finding it. You're kind of tight on time, but you're not late.
Okay.
And when you find it, it has it is just a standard cardboard box. It's pretty lightweight, surprisingly. You can carry it with one hand. You also notice that the box itself is the seal on it. It may have been tampered with, but you're not sure if that's tampering or if that's just like because it was thrown in a potted plant. But there's a little bit of dirt edged around the tape.
Okay. Okay, time to go.
Okay. So
My job to check the goods. Let's go.
all right. So you are heading down into Vern Station, which is going to. So as you're moving down into Vern Station, you start to see Voyager Ward. It looks. It's very strange to anyone who's not been a part of Grand Cross for long. But as you walk closer and closer to the inside edge of Voyager Ward, getting closer to Vern Station, you actually can look up and see more detailed surroundings of the other wards that rest on the tangents of the other wings. So you can see Seahin Ward and Turing Ward. And it looks like some kind of like dream-like Inception shit where the city is kind of folding as different parts of the city are coming closer together as they converge to the meeting point. So as you get closer and closer to Vern Station, you notice something which hadn't really occurred to you until now, but Vern Station is not just like perfectly unobstructed and open to the public. It is a working area. There are people, station engineers and like maintenance people and delivery people who are going in and out, to and fro. It's not just something, it's not just something where like any random civilian can just wander around. It is like an airport. There is a travel portion and there is a employee portion, and it is a big station. The area you are told to drop it in is somewhere inside part of the employee station.
Oh, okay, no, beforehand. Okay.
This is something that you wouldn't have really been able to know for sure until you had gotten here. Because it like the running assumption is like, yeah, go to room 443C and drop the package here. 43C could have just been anywhere in the travel portion. But as you're getting closer and closer, you notice that the lettering and the numbering, it starts to look like 43C or whatever is effectively somewhere inside an employee-controlled area.
Okay. Let's see. Thinking off the top of my head.
It's worth noting that. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Tell me what's worth noting.
Okay, fair. So it's worth noting that there's not like posted guards to this area. It's just it's like if you were walking around at an airport and you tried to go into an employees only door. If you were seen, someone might stop you and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" But it's not like there's an armed guard posted anywhere. Most of the things keeping you out are the red tape and the implied like no civilians allowed. You're not allowed to just be there.
Implied, no actual signs, though.
Well, there are signs that say employees only.
Okay.
But yeah, like there's nothing. The enforcement of that rule is implied.
Okay. I'm going to go up to the front desk.
Okay. So as you start to walk up towards the front desk area, this would be like effectively the baggage claim area or the baggage check area for an airport. There's a clerk standing there who's like, "Hi, may I help you?" It's a young woman with brown hair.
I was hoping to perhaps interview a couple of your employees. I do activist streams, and I thought maybe it would be a good job to highlight some of the more, what's the word, unseen things around the station.
Oh, that's interesting. I will have to ask my manager. I don't see why we couldn't do it. It's not as though we're I don't think there's any like illicit activities going on, of course.
Yeah, nothing illegal, of course.
But I don't suppose there's any reason we couldn't have a short series of questions, right? Not a lengthy interview.
Oh, no, just a few questions.
Sure. Here, give me just a minute. And she steps away from the counter and starts to walk back to an employee entrance behind the counter check-in area.
Okay. I think I should wait for her to come back, and I'll say, like, let's go somewhere quiet after that, is what I will say.
Okay. So after
use
a few, probably like 5-ish minutes, she comes back out of the door and just goes, "Hey, we didn't get your name. What was your name again?"
Lindis.
Lindis. Okay, Lindis. Yeah, we would love to do an interview of some kind, but again, just to be quick, because we can't just have employees getting paid to, not do work as we're standing here.
I'll keep it brief.
But certainly. So, what questions did you have? And she just posts up behind the counter.
Well, I was hoping to ask about, day-to-day work, maybe get some snapshots, other things like integrity of, the travel system, things people might not know about, things they can look about. Like I said, maybe get us some pictures of them saying something cheery. That sort of thing.
Sure. Okay. So, yeah, let me do that. And she kind of hesitantly, kind of nervously drums her fingers on on
questions
the
like
countertop
that, pictures like that, in
and
general.
says, I'm certain we can answer some of those questions. I think that would be okay. I can get another person here. I think I have someone else on staff, so you don't have to get
I can't
all
hear
the
you, so give me a
questions.
second.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Okay.
She says, basically, yeah, I can get someone else to accompany to accompany us, so you're not getting questions from just me, if that helps the process seem more legitimate.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Let's go.
Sure. And she walks out from behind the counter and starts going to like the open waiting room area.
Okay. She's not making this easy. Neither are you. You know what I want.
Gotta
So
work for it. Gotta use those charm skills.
I am using my charm skills.
I fully expected you to be like, "Hey, go get your manager," and then when she disappeared, for you to just rush in behind her.
I thought that too.
But she's walking over to the sitting area, like where you would wait for disembarking or coming off of a flight. And if you don't,
Commit now.
huh?
The commit now. Yeah. I will find my way into the employee room as we walk around and talk. So you mark my words.
Okay, so you start to walk towards the sitting room or the sitting area, and you start to ask a few interview questions, just eyeballing ways that you can dash away to get into the employee area. Go ahead and roll me. Let's see. You can roll me. Roll me a cool check to see if you can spot any sort of easy access way to get into the area.
I have my VTuber specialty.
I don't think that would apply here.
I mean, I'm doing interviewing. I'm getting the things.
This is
Put on the
not
whole-
related to the interview. This is more related to like as you're doing the interview process, because she's kind of hooked into that already. She's
Okay.
engaged with that. It's more of as you're walking
Well, I
where your
critically
eyes are
succeeded.
going.
forgive me.
Oh, you're right. You did doubles. Okay, cool. So as you're walking, your eyes are like darting around. You're trying to keep a very, very close pulse on how much time you have left, as it's getting a little close. You're under half an hour at this point. But you're also really close to the drop-off site. You're checking door numbers and letter combinations, and you can see ones that would imply you're close to the drop-off area, which is literally just outside of whatever, like door 43C or what have you. And as you're going, you notice that there is a way to get back behind the employee area. There's obviously the door. There's several of them that go into different areas. There's the one that goes to the area behind the clerk's counter. There's one for the security area. There's ones for other record keeping and maintenance areas. And as you're walking, you can see that there is a baggage rail where packages and boxes and cargo is shoveled onto and loaded onto a slow moving platform, and that wheels into the back area. And you have a pretty good sense of where to go. You could go through any of those ways and get back to where you needed to be. Just kind of building a mental map for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that then.
Do which?
Which would be easier, do you think? Which do you guys think would be easier?
I don't know, man. Guy's not making the best judgments today.
Guy's making great choices.
He's not making the best judgment calls today.
The one that rails around through the back, I think.
Okay, so you're gonna so the one the moving platform?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you are walking, you see the moving platform. You know that scene in Toy Story 2 where Buzz is fighting Stinky Pete, and it like they're running through the baggage terminal area.
I do actually.
Yeah, I knew you would. But as you're like walking down this aisle, just kind of asking nonchalant questions, you don't even have to roll for that. She's convinced that you're just some high schooler who's doing like a report, and she's like, okay, well that's fine. And you can try to stealthily do this, or you can just fucking go for it. What do you want? How do you want to play it?
Obviously.
Stealthy? Okay.
This is gonna be stupid, but can I accidentally trip in a way that knocks us both onto the platform?
Knocks. You can
Both of us.
So you want to fake trip so that you both fall onto the moving platform? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be to make yourself both trip and have it be convincingly fake. That would be cool to fake it.
I
and
agree.
To trip them, it would either be tough or quick, depending on how you trip them.
I trip and I fall into them.
Okay, so that would be tough. Like you're kind of pushing.
Maybe not that way.
Do you want to roll? You want to roll quick.
I want to roll quick, so maybe I accidentally No, she trips up on my dog. She trips up on my dog, and I try to catch her, and I fall too. Yeah.
Okay,
my fox,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I will say for the purposes of making a quick roll, I will give you advantage for dog. Though she will be kicking your dog.
Poor thing. It will get lots of walkies later.
Yeah, go ahead and roll quick to tripify.
Click to tripify.
And then it will be cool to make it a convincing mistake as opposed to
Could I use my dancing specialty to like do some quick footwork as
I
a false?
I think that would be fair. I think that if you're using quick and you're dancing around it, I could see that. Ooh, okay. 9. And what is your cool
Cool.
to fake the blow?
VTuber smile.
I would not think being a VTuber would work here so much as
helping
just
me keep my cool. It's not a VTuber thing.
it's not keeping your cool so much as convincing her that this like slapstick thing was a genuine like, oh no, I oopsied, and not just you.
Well, I hit a 7, but I did critical.
Okay. This is true. So you walk up, and between you and your doggo, you're like piecing together the idea. You're like, okay, if I go here, and you kind of lead doggo a little bit to the left, and then stick your foot out, and she catches on it and starts to stumble. But in an attempt to like make sure she falls in the way that you need her to, you like so you kick your foot out so that she trips, but you need her to fall onto the platform with you. So as she's tripping, you reach out to try and steer her to the platform, and you both go down. You're not sure if it was the most convincing thing. You both stumble and fall onto the platform, though. And there's this, like, metal ringing, like, as you both land bodily onto the moving platform. And she's like, what are you doing? And she just starts to, like, scramble to try and get up, and she's kind of stumbling and struggling to get up because the platform is moving. And she is not wearing not wearing like tennis shoes. She's wearing heels.
I don't know. I tripped. I don't know what I tripped on. Are you okay?
She is just like, get off of me. This interview or whatever the fuck it is over. And she's like struggling and getting up. And
But we're on the other side now.
You're moving to the other side. You go through like the little like rubber flap things, and you'll get to the other side.
Okay. Yeah, that's why it's like, okay, I'll go, and I'll quickly like shuffle forward ahead, following the platform, just to quickly get myself some distance.
Okay, so you both start to shuffle up. She is carefully stepping down from the platform, but you are waiting to get through the little metal flap or the little rubber flap area so that you can get behind it. As you're going through, she will turn around to see that you're like you haven't gotten off yet, and she's like, what are you doing? And you start to disappear into the back area, and she's like, hey,
it didn't look safe. I'll be on the other side.
What the fuck? And you can hear her just being like getting more and more upset, and you can't make out any of the words she's saying, but you can hear like disgruntled like shouting and complaining. But you're on the other side, and as
while
you
I brief her quickly now.
So you have enough time to run around and do a little bit of searching. Go ahead and roll me your cool check to search as you did before.
Okay.
10. Okay. So you run through. You start to like rush in, and there's a couple of people working there who are loading and offloading various cargo and packages, and they see you, and they're like, is she supposed to be here? Who the fuck is that? I don't know. And they're just kind of mumbling, not sure what to do. but they also don't want to like get themselves involved because that's not their job. That's not what they're paid to do. So they kind of keep their noses low, and they're like, "That's fucking weird. What the hell?" But as you are running through, you see a section of hallway designated outer wing, and it's got the correct like labeling that would lead you to believe like, okay, this is where I need to go. And as you're running closer to it, you actually hear like a door get kicked in, and there's you can see from across in this like it's sort of like a factory floor. This area is, and as you're like starting to leave the area, you can see all the way across two security guards and that woman who you were interviewing. But you're far enough away that you have a brief moment to slip out and escape. So you slip into the outer oh my god, the outer section. I can't even remember what I fucking said. Yeah, but you're in the outer wing area. As you walk through that door and slip it closed, it looked to be like a typical office door, but as you get there, you noticed that there is a shielding wall, a wide, heavy shielded wall. That this is like the outside edge of the Vern station, like space edge. It is extremely cold, as there's no like insulation between here and the vacuum of space. So you're rushing through the area, like trying to find the other doors. And as you're going down and down and down and down and down, this hallway seems to curve at this some like oblique, seemingly endless angle. But eventually you see the correct door label, and you have the package, you have the door. With a few minutes to spare, you can drop it off.
Yes.
You're not going to open it, and are you going to open the door, or are you going to open the package, or are you just going to drop it and then bust out of there?
What did the instructions say?
The instructions said, literally just take, like, parcel here, drop off here.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
No, I just drop it off, take a picture as proof, and then I'm out.
Okay. You take a picture. After a moment, you are sent 3 cash. And you're busting out. So you're running back through the ward. Are you going back the way you came, or are you going to try to get away from the people you pissed off?
No, I'm an innocent interviewer. I'm just gonna go back to her like, oh, there you are. That was scary.
Okay, so you go back the way you came, and you see the very disgruntled lady and the 2 security guards. She's like, there she is. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you are never going to leave this station this way again. Not without a personal armed escort.
I just want to go home after that little fiasco, so just get me out of here, please.
The security guard, like, grabs you by the shoulder and just goes, you're lucky you're going home, and starts to, like, forcefully lead you outside the station. And you are let out. The nature of this whole strange interaction never gave anyone a particular like vibe that you were up to something, so much as you were like just incredibly incredibly ditzy.
Yep.
And they
That's
were
me.
like, fucking, who is this dumb high school girl?
Yep.
So they escort you out, and the security guard, this big brutish looking dude with like a square jaw and like a shaved head. He doesn't shove shove you out, but he's not very nice about it. He walks you to the door and then gives you a nudge out the door, and then crosses his arms and glares at you. And then the woman, she has gone back to her post and she's helping other guests check in. But you're out. You got your
I deserve
cash.
more than 3 cash for that.
You are now like banned from traveling through Vern Station. He's got your picture on a fucking wall. Don't let her in.
I'll have Legacy deal with that. Don't worry.
I mean, to be fair, she didn't do anything too extreme.
No, I didn't do anything wrong. I just fell down the chute.
Yeah.
You know?
They can't ban you from like ever leaving the station, because if you wanted to go back to Earth, you could. But they like the nature of it is now like, oh, it's that girl again.
Oh my god.
Only. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
You're gonna have to
you're on a
travel
list.
back through Vern tomorrow to go watch Kaya race.
Yep.
But
it's just traveling. That's fine. You're just gonna get some looks.
Exact opposite of what Legacy
I
wants.
deserve more than 3 cash for
Oh,
that.
God.
Don't complain. You get a lot of money anyway.
It was the easiest job in terms of just what you had to do. You can message the dude and be like, "What the fuck, 3 cash?" But that's all you get. You get just the solitary transfer of funds.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
She's known as the not actual, the unofficial shitty customer list.
Basically,
Yeah.
the sad face list.
Mhm.
Grumpy, the little grumpy angry emoji, little red angry emoji. So I say we take a quick $5, get drinks and bathroom breaks, and then we can come back and do the legacy mole hunt.
Go mutant.
I should have joined Legacy on this. That one sounds more fun, to be honest. I handled it as best as I could.
Cool. I will be right back.
Like, use either that or like steal a uniform or something and sneak in. But
You can't pass. What, you gonna clean?
yeah.
First session.
That just becomes the go-to for Linda's panic button. How do I get through this? I clean! I clean!
Starts fucking like
That
taking the
was-
mop and cleaning the walls.
That was a lot closer than I wanted it to be.
I mean, to be fair, you weren't like, you didn't really commit any crimes. You.
Oh, I committed a few crimes, just none of them were noticed.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, like Kaya might just explode tomorrow.
We don't even fucking know what Legacy's about to get into. We don't.
That's true. Yeah. It's just like some guy in like a costume hanging out in a basement apartment.
Legacy might be about to die. Legacy might be about to get arrested. Legacy. We don't know what the fuck's about to happen.
I thought we were all gonna go on the same job, and you both picked different ones, and I was like, oh. I see.
Well, I thought we would do like a couple roles, not like the whole session role play just for some cash, is what I thought.
I mean, trick out Larry? Hell yeah. So Larry's gonna get fine manipulation as an arm or other manipulator that can be used for fine tasks. He deserves
I now
arms.
have 7 cash.
Nice. I don't know if Kai even has like cash. I don't know. Where'd you find that? Where does it say?
I just put it in like your inventory. Like I have just like a cache thing
Yeah,
under
but
augments. I just put like an inventory space.
there would be a trait or something that tells you that you get cash, and so if you've not already like if you don't know where the cash is, then you don't have any cash. You don't
Okay.
auto-generate it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Wanted to make sure. All right. Legacy's job. You gonna call up Marcus to go sewer diving?
I mean,
First date?
he doesn't need to know that she's that type of crazy just yet.
Just yet. I mean, you never know.
I mean, you ripped the band-aid off, right?
Mm-hmm. Did you leave him on read? Unread?
I don't trust this shit.
Just what?
I don't trust Joe.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Jesus
I
Christ.
was 100% down for Marcus, and then he pulled that bullshit last week or like 2 weeks ago, and now I don't trust it.
I mean, he explained it pretty well that it was just to mess with us, right?
I don't trust him.
You don't trust him?
I play
What?
with Joe enough. I know he'll want to fuck with me eventually.
That's fair.
And we got Star Wars tomorrow, so you can get your revenge.
I'm not gonna be mean to y'all until you guys have a handle on the system. That's my general rule of thumb. You guys are more or less safe. Now, you're not safe from your own dumbass decisions, but
Hell yeah.
you're more
The-
or
the-
less safe until you have an idea of what you're doing.
That's the best motto. No one is ever safe from their own dumbassery.
Oh, yes, and I forgot I was going to dangle something. I've seen the picture, Joe, from Mandy. I've seen the picture. You're going to be happy.
Oh my god.
She's giving me previews
Yeah,
of everything.
I
You're
know
gonna be
about
happy.
that. Yeah. Me and Z were gossiping yesterday about all that.
Mm.
I know things that you don't know that I can't tell you, but I know
What?
things.
What? Fuck is that about?
I know more about your character than you.
And are you talking about Doc?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
think Doc.
Like I said, I just watched your session, your last session.
So
Oh, yeah, Amy knows
Now
too
we have-
because we were
Now
all
we have
gossiping
thoroughly
together.
confused Joe. I was just
We know
gossiping
everything.
that I know. I've seen Mandy's been sharing me her like updated like look at the progress. What do you think? Because she's wanting like tarot card input. I've seen Docs. You're gonna be very happy. I want to make her. I want to get her
okay.
to like make a jokey one about Rex, but she's trying to make it serious. But I had a really good idea, and she said no.
Aw. I would love to hear your idea after we deal with the growing mutant problem underneath the city.
Are you gonna invite Marcus? See?
Are you going to invite
No,
Armed and Dangerous?
no, not on a mutant hunt. That
Oh, but it'd
seems-
be such a cute date.
It would be a cute date. You should do it.
It would be very
Yeah,
funny,
it
but also
would.
if he's like normal everyday, like dude, I'm like, hey, you want to go sewer diving for mutants because I'm a conspiracy theorist?
I mean,
Rip the band-aid
on
off.
one hand,
you know?
he's also a technology person. You might have that in common. And also, if he's into you enough, he might try.
That's true. He might.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the character. Rip the band-aid off.
Exactly.
No.
First
no.
date? You don't
Not
want to
bringing him?
hang out with
Okay.
my roommates? Okay, let's go
Okay.
sewer diving.
Okay.
Okay, so you're geared up You got a flashlight, and a little backpack with some snacks in it. Aren't you like 4'10"?
Yes.
Okay. So you're making your way to the nearest manhole cover. So you get to an area where the mutant report states that the colony is growing out from underneath Adam's ward, and it's starting to branch into neighboring wards, specifically towards which one is it? Specifically towards Mariposa, because they like the fauna or they like the flora of the area above. For the record, these job postings, or this particular job posting, has a lot more weird detail than the other ones. But nonetheless, you're just going through it. He outlines a few areas that are specifically like positions where one could safely enter without exposing themselves to the mutant colonies. But you can sneak into the colonies, and you go to one of these manhole covers with a bit of effort. I'm not going to make you roll for it because you can just sit here and force yourself to do it. But because you're so teeny, it takes a lot more elbow grease. But you eventually get that manhole cover off. At one point, you pick it up and you're just heaving it, like trying to get the whole thing off. Your face turns red. You're just like, whoa! And then you drop it and it nearly smashes into your toes. And you just curse a few seconds, and then go back at it and lift it up. And make sure to lift with a fast jerking motion with your lower back. But you do manage to get it up and over and crash down onto the pavement. You take a minute, catch your breath, and look down into the manhole cover, and you can see the actual ladder. It's not like a old risky looking one where it's like steel rebar that just juts out of like a wall. The ladder is built in to the manhole cover, so it's like a recessed area that you can grab onto. And as you're walking, or as you're climbing down, you pull out a little flashlight and shine it down. The area under here is the steel. This is all a function type of metalworking. The plating is very coarse and meant to withstand a lot of wear and tear. It's not as like tinny and thin, so if you were to hit it, it would sound more like rock as opposed to like the hollow clang of like a steel door. But you're climbing down. Man, I need better music for this. This is too exciting. Let's see. So you're creeping down into. Ooh, let's see. This is actually probably better. Yeah. Music for creepy things. Thanks, Sirenscape. So you are in this sewer area. You did your best to get like a vague map so that you know where you're at and you can kind of track where you're going so you don't get lost. The sewers are not something like the sewer maps are not publicly available, so it took a little bit of digging to really get something. And even still, it's very rudimentary. Most of what you're going to do is like self-tracking. So you'll mark a location and have like a little program running in the background to keep track of where you are and where you'll go.
And if I can throw this out there,
Mhm.
I did have written in her backstory that she did a lot of like slipping into and out of like the crawl spaces and the like inner workings of the station when she was a kid.
This is true. This is true.
If she
So,
could fit in somewhere, she was going in there.
mhm. Yeah. So climbing down in here, though, it's much roomier. Well, you're also small, so it's about you sized. For someone like Kaya, it would be a little bit of a squeeze, but you're just small enough that you're not in like a perpetual duct state as you're walking through. The sewery areas, the water is low at this point, and you're walking on the side walking path area. It's pretty dark, and the actual structure of the walls. There were working lights, but those are typically only activated by like workers who have access to the city grid.
Mhm.
And there are conduit stations where you could attempt to do it yourself manually if you wanted to turn on the lights down here. Though you do know that the mutant people probably would know you're coming then.
That's more effort than she's willing to put in.
Fair. Okay. So you end up walking for a little bit. And go ahead and roll me a cool check or a clever check to search the area to kind of like it's you could also use cool in terms of just like an intuition, just kind of following your gut to find where these mutants are.
I think that's all.
10? Okay. So, as you're walking down and you hear the distant like plink plink of water on metal, um you kind of get this this wait, what ability did you roll?
Clever.
Clever? Okay. So you're walking
If I
and
rolled cool, then it would have just been a 9. So
gotcha. So you look down and you see the current of the water with your flashlight. Um it's moving pretty steadily, and as you're walking you come to this uh four-way cross, and the water current goes partially straight and partially to the right, but the left side water appears to be relatively stagnant, or rather the current doesn't flow from that direction. And you're kind of thinking about it like, okay, the water doesn't appear to be going up in that way, so maybe it's flowing down, or maybe there's like a dip. And your intuition tells you that the people who are going to make their homes down here, these mutants who are going to make their homes down here, are probably going to live downward of the water flow, so that they're getting as much water as possible without having to be exposed to the upper layers of the station. So you're going deeper, and you start to go in the direction where the water is flowing downward. And as you go, it starts to pick up, and you can hear the soft like shh of water current kind of steadily increasing in speed. It's worth noting that the actual watery area is probably about like your height like 5 feet wide, and then the area you're walking in is about 2 feet wide. So you have like a very short walking area, and the height of the ceiling is 5 feet. So it's a pretty tight fit. But the system is very, very like it's very maze-like, and it interweaves throughout the entire station this way. So it's pretty compact. But you're vaguely familiar with how this is sort of like a necessity of how the design had to be to squeeze all of the stuff they did on this station. As you're walking, you end up getting to an area where there's like not a reservoir, but a type of atrium area. So you walk up, and the water cascades over and falls into a large pooling area. And this area is much, much wider. The walking path is actually suspended in the air, as opposed to being right along the edge of the water. So think of it like the inside of a silo at a farm. So you're on this little 2-foot walking ledge. The water cascades over the end, and you can see that there's other tunnels and areas that meet in this area and cascade over the edge. And you point the flashlight down, and you can see the water is funneling down into this area. It's about a third full. That you're just able to kind of guess. By that, it's a third full for the sake of if there was any sort of rupture or sudden surge of water, it would not cause a massive backup throughout different parts of the station. So you're just guys kind of hazily, or just drifting through the hazy underground area. Roll me another clever check to spot something. Or to try and spot something, rather. Okay.
Oop, I didn't roll twice.
I don't know. I will keep the second roll if you want.
Sure.
Okay. You can use a 12 on your next roll. Just gonna make note that I'm doing this for you so I can take something away from you later.
You've already taken my trust in you, so.
What? Why?
The whole bullshit last time we played. I don't
What are you
trust
talking about? So your flashlight glides along the different areas, and you start to walk a little bit out onto the ledge, the upper landing area. And you don't see it so much as you don't see it, but you do hear it. And you're almost certain that you heard this. You hear what sounds like a splash of something jumping in water. And your instinct, you flash the light towards it to see if you can catch it. You don't catch anything except the disturbance in the water. So you can see, as your light flicks across the way, there's another tunnel area not far from you, where before the water cascades and falls into this big repository, there's a little bit of still standing water, or vaguely still. And you can see that there's rippling of disturbed water there.
She'll make her way towards it. She won't like move like right next to it, but she gets closer to get a better look.
Okay.
She can.
Okay. You're keeping your flashlight trained on it. You every so often point it down at your feet, make sure that your footing is stable, and you look back up and look back down and look back up, and creep ever so slightly closer to it. And as you get closer, the light you noticed this before. The water isn't very murky. It's difficult for the light to penetrate it, just to the actual physics of how the light hits the water. But you can kind of see into the channel the water is running in. And as you're kind of drifting the light over the surface of the water, you see what looks to be like a discolored brownish splotch underneath the water. And this is running water, mind you. It's not like a poop, for the record. You see what appears to be like a 2.5 foot diameter or 2.5 foot radius, like unobscured blob shape underneath the water. And I'm using your 12 for that. So your light passes over it, and you kind of squint at it. Roll me a quick check to be quiet.
Okay, would my parkour work for this too? Because she's like able to move pretty easily in all this.
It's I would say you're not like moving around. You're actually just kind of steady and standing still. So not this time. Your parkour will help.
Oh.
Damn, rolling like fucking fire though. So
Which just means next time is gonna be horrible.
Yeah, no, this is great. So you're being just stock still and perfectly quiet, and your eyes are locked on this thing, and you look slightly above it and slightly behind it, and above and behind it, you see the familiar grayish iron-looking what the actual metal and steel walls and floors look like. So you're certain that this discoloration is something. And as you're kind of pondering this, the water, you're not sure if it's an effect from the water, but it moves. At least you think it does. Just ever so slightly, it seemed to shift. Almost like when you nudge a sleeping cat.
About how far away is it from me at this point?
It's probably about 10 to 15 feet, somewhere in there. Close enough that you can see that there is something there, but not close enough that you're able to make out fine details.
So you said that she was able to pack some snacks into her bag, right?
Yeah, I figured you'd have like crackers.
Do you have like a can of like an energy drink or some shit?
That sounds like something Legacy would have. So yes, I'm willing to say that you have, at this point, you probably have emptied a Red Bull as you've just been walking around down here.
Can I throw it?
You want to throw it at the thing?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. Roll a quick check to throw your Red Bull can at it.
Nope.
Okay. So you've practiced the art of throwing cans at things before. You have expressed you've expressed frustration with things through the end of a loaded Red Bull can. But this time you're not filled with the righteous fury that you were when you've thrown them previously. So you're kind of off put. There's this shakiness to your hand. And also, it's just an empty can, so you throw it and it doesn't fly very far because it's not heavy. And then it just lands on the surface of the water, which gently floats it back down towards you. And it starts to go over the edge. And just shloop.
Damn it.
As your eyes follow the can for a second, and you feel this like, fuck. You look back and the shape is gone.
So it's not gone over the waterfall, it's just gone deeper in, so I guess I'm going deeper in.
Okay. Are you going to go about stealthily?
Yeah.
Okay, now I will say you could use your parkour.
Want another quick check?
Yes, please.
Can I use my conspiracy theory too?
No,
How
not
often
this
am I gonna
time.
be able to use that?
You're gonna be able to use it a lot more than you think. Okay, so you are pretty deftly moving through this area, with enough speed and enough grace that you're being very, 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 very stealthy, but not compromising your speed at this time. So you move through the area, and your lights kind of dancing around as you look for this thing. The hallway, or this tunnel for the sewer, starts to widen a little bit. Not much, but just enough. It's a little bit over 6 feet in both directions now, so the channel is a little bit deeper. The walkway is a little bit over about 3 feet wide now, so you have a little bit more breathing room to walk. And as you go up, you see that this hallway or tunnel connects to what is like this large, almost like a main funnel. It goes out into this large semi, or what is it, like a hemisphere section, where, or not hemisphere, what the fuck is it called, cylindrical section, where half of the cylinder is the arched metal roofing, and the other half is where the water is flowing. And this is the traditional sewer visual that you're getting, that you typically see. And the hallway, or the tunnel that you came out of, it appears to be a parallel pathway in a series of offshoots from this main area. You've been walking around here for a while at this point, and you're pretty deep in the bowels of the sewer area. Go ahead and roll me another clever check to spot this thing, and you can add your conspiracy theory bonus to these checks, by the way.
See, you had to
So-
make a comment about my rolls, and you see what they've been since.
Oh, so here's I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna level with you, Z. That is a biblical failure.
Yeah.
So, do you want to see the thing?
I would like to. But what are you gonna make me pay?
You, unfortunately, you have already decided that you want to see the thing. So your light is just light faintly tracing along the walls, and you're seeing all the different disparate hallways that shoot off of this main throughway. Just listening to the drips of the water. The water here is much darker than you would have thought before. and there's this moment where it seems to get so quiet, even with the sound of the dripping water, even with the sound of your breathing. It seems to be that the only thing you can actually really hear for a moment is just the sound of your heartbeat in your ears. And you get this strange tingle on the back of your neck, just this anxiousness. And you tilt your light onto the surface of the water, and you notice something as your light gets bounces off the water. You can see your reflection, and you can see something behind you, and the reflection of this thing is tall and lumpy and wide, and it's standing just about 3 feet from behind you.
Do I have?
The moment that your light hits the water and you see this reflection and you freeze and try to make your decision, this thing also freezes, and it's so eerily still.
Does it look like humanoid, or is it just a mass?
You think you can make out the vague shape of some type of arm and what appears to be some type of head, but not much else. It is more like a mass than it is a human.
Ooh, that's a 5. Okay. So, in true chaos roll stupid decision, I'll spin around and try to kick it in the dick.
Okay, so you spin around, and your light streaks off the water and flies up in the face of this thing. Make a cool check. Or wait, what is your cool defense?
My cool defense is an 8.
An 8. Okay. So you whirl around, raise the flashlight, and kick back your heel, and you're ready to fucking go. You're gonna turn this thing's dick inside out with your foot. But when you spin around, the light glances off the water and then shines directly at it, and you can see it for the first time now. And it is like a collection of discarded old technology. There's fragments and scraps of different discolored bits of metal that comprise up the center of its body. You can see that the arm that you saw in the reflection, it's actually this twisted vestigial arm on its side, and the actual actual massive main functioning arm it's almost like it doesn't have the arm part. It is just like a palm that extends out of both sides of its massive lumpy back, and on the ends of those wider flaps, it's almost like wings. There are these, you're not sure if they're metal or if they are not metal, and I will leave it at that. But they protrude from the end of those flat wing-like surfaces, and the vestigial arm has, much like Zaris, in fucking Strahd. It has multiple fingers, but no thumb. It has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 what appear to be just repeated index type finger digits, all of which are like contracting and uncontracting, like they're responding to some unseen stimuli. And its face is covered in plates of metal, like folds of cloth, except you can see the sharp, harsh edges of where the plates of metal are shoved, like almost like knives stabbed into like a roast pork. These scraps of metal just jut out, and there are scraps of metal that jut out against them, and you have this array around its neck and its torso and its body, and it just folds into this massive pile. The eyes, though, are disturbingly human. They have a white sclera with yellowish hazel eyes. There's no nose. The eyes sit in this sort of predator position where they are side by side, facing forward. The mass of face and shards of metal that jut out go around the outside of the eyes. You can see thick eyelids with tiny shards of metal in them as well. And this creature has water dripping off of it, but it doesn't make a sound. Water will drip off of it, and almost like water off of a duck's back, it is hydrophobic. And it's silent as it just stares at you. And you are frozen for a moment. And you lose all momentum of your kick. And it just blinks, and you can hear the soft squish of its eyelids as it blinks at you. And it shuffles back slightly. And it just watches you for a moment. What do you do now?
It's not like reaching out towards me or getting closer, though, right?
No. It is... judging from the size of its limbs, it could, but it isn't.
Now I'm trapped between Legacy being a little bitch and Legacy being very stupid.
Chaos roll.
Legacy just stares and then tilts her head when she sees it's not coming any closer. As she like very clearly makes that movement, does it do anything, or is it just still watching?
When you tilt your head, it mimics the gesture, and then you can see its body like shudder, and you hear the of metal plates bending and snapping, and it tilts its head farther than you tilted yours, such that the eyes are perpendicular to the ground.
Okay. So this is a how much you're going to let me bullshit with my cybernetics moment.
Okay.
Because you said essentially that Legacy's phone can be in her arm.
Yeah.
So can't she like lift her hand up and like I can say that she has like the ability to take a picture?
It would be, yeah, you could do that. For mechanics and purposes like that, it would not be like to anyone who knows what a camera is, they would know that you're taking a picture. But you can do that for sure.
And can I do that without the flash?
Yes, you can do that without the flash.
So I would like her to like lift a hand and try to take a picture.
Okay. You slowly lift your hand, and as you lift your hand, it mirrors the gesture and lifts its own smaller vestigial limb. And you can see as it raises its hand to mirror yours, there are more what appear to be those fingers or digits on the underside, and they're also like bending and poking at some unseen for some unknown reason. Your hand outstretched to take a picture, you are disturbingly close to this thing. But it does not move, and you can take a picture.
Takes the picture.
Okay. You take a picture of this thing. The little sound of the shutter goes off, and you hear the creature utter something. Some burbling bass tone, just and then it starts to reach its hand towards you. Not leaning its body, its arm and those fingers that just decorate around it just start to extend as it stretches towards you as it goes to reach towards your face.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
How do I
What,
want
Mark?
Are you gonna let it touch your face?
I
Are
don't.
you gonna let it?
I don't know. Give me a second.
Okay.
It's fucking
She's gonna-
insta kills her.
She's gonna like lean back away from it, and she reaches into the hidden compartment in her arm and pulls out another Red Bull and sticks it in the hand instead.
You're going to hand it a Red Bull?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Huh.
Holy shit!
That is quite possibly the last thing I would have expected you to do.
Oh my god! You're my hero.
So you like pull the Red Bull out and you stick it in its hand as it's going for your face.
Yes.
Okay.
Have
So you
something
put
else
the
instead of my face.
you put the can out, and it like reaches forward, and you see the fingers poke the can, and the can immediately starts to be groped and pulled in by all the independent fingers. It's lifted. The arm stops moving for a moment, and all of those twitching, bending fingers they poke and prod it and lift it, almost like a trail of ants carrying crumbs. It lifts the can, and it just seamlessly is pulled from your hand and trails up its arm, and then back towards its face, and then up above its head, like in just now in the mass of metal shards and pieces. And you're watching this transfixed by how it has stopped moving. Its eyes still locked on you, its head still tilted, its arm outstretched though not growing. These like cilia type things carry the can all the way back, and then it starts to crunch, and you hear the and then the pressurized pop, and the Red Bull sprays everywhere. And the can is folded inward and shoved in between two metal plates on its body. Almost like it was like crushed by something and consumed. And you can see just like the liquid of the Red Bull just dripping and fizzing everywhere. The can totally subsumed inside the creature. And then you hear again the same shuddering metal noise of just and its head tilts back up and it starts to move its hand towards your face again. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna let it hit your face?
No. She starts kind of scooting back. She's not, like, actively running, but she's, I guess, trying to make it very clear she is not wanting to be touched. She has not touched it. Seeing if that'll make it stop.
So you back up a little bit, and this thing, still eerily motionless, save for the extending pseudopod, just watches you, and its arm continues to stretch, not any faster than it was before, but it does not seem deterred by you backing away.
Is it like cutting me off from the way I came in, or?
It is now between you and the original hallway you had come down, but the mental map you have in your head, you could theoretically run down any hallway on this side, and you would come out in a vaguely similar area that you would be able to run and direct yourself back to, because they run parallel.
She's gonna really quick lift her hand, snap another picture, and then bolt.
Okay, so you lift your hand and snap another picture, and as you lift your hand, it raises its other arm, and you can see that as it's raising its other arm had also been stretching, though it was down by its side. So as it lifts it, it's sort of like catching, it's raising it from the elbow, from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, all the way down, kind of like this wet noodle. But you snap the picture and then turn and start to bolt. And then as you bolt, you hear the twisting and bending of metal as it just... And this thing is now... well... I think you could guess that it's probably going to give way. And as you are rushing down back the way you came, you are like trying to get back to the way you came. You can hear the only thing you hear, despite seeing its almost fluid shape and form, it is the metal upon metal, and the crunching of steel and bending of it that you can hear over anything else. And you can throw a look back over your shoulder, and as you look back, you can see the light. You shine your light back, only to see in the distance of the hallway, you can see the pair of eyes floating perfectly in the center of that hall, as metal pseudopods and shards of metal inside of them reach out and scrape along the outside, keeping it perfectly in the center, staring at you as it chases, now with speed and purpose. So you're running.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need you to make some quick check here to keep it at a good distance, because it's It's happening now. Okay. So, you can add parkour to that. I don't know if you did.
I did.
Okay. So as you're running, you're rushing through this area. There's not any sort of like recognizable features. It is just tunnels upon tunnels upon tunnels. And as you're going, you're having this sort of deja vu, even though you know that you didn't come down this hallway. But you are making it back the way you came. At least you're pretty sure. And you every so often throw a look over your shoulder, and you can see the thing in the distance. Though it's closer, maybe it's hard to tell. You're focused now on getting back, not on determining if it's getting closer yet. But you can still hear, with just as much volume, the clanging and bending and scraping of metal against metal. So, go ahead and roll me a clever check to successfully guide yourself out.
My parkour also work for that because it's like urban navigation.
I do not think so.
Oh.
9 again. Okay. So you're running. You take a left, you take a right, you veer around this large atrium area. You know this place. You've been here. You're pretty sure. Unless there's multiple atriums, which you don't think there are. It should be okay. You're just running, and you're taking lefts and taking rights, dipping and moving around. These tunnels, now that you are moving with haste, feel a lot smaller than they did before. And as you keep going, you throw another look over your shoulder, and you can see this thing is definitely closer. It is definitely closer. The eyes still floating in the perfect middle of the darkness as you see the metally scraping pseudopods reach out and shear along the outside edges of the tunnels. It is a horrifying sound, but honestly, the noise of it seems dulled as you're rushing as fast as you possibly can, and you're hearing more of your fast breathing and the pumping and beating of your heart. So much so that the actual horrendous metal scratching noise seems almost like numbed or dulled. Make me another parkour check. Make it good. Make it good.
Hurts me.
Hey, you're welcome. I told you to make it good, and you made it good. Great. So, you with this new found adrenaline and fear coursing through your body, you are sprinting now. Having remembered enough of the layout that you know that there's not a lot of terrain variation. Maybe some slight raises and maybe some slight slick parts. You're pretty confident that you can just haul ass. So you lean into the run, pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can. Roll me one more clever check. Awesome. So you're running, and you peel off one last corner, and you are perfect. You know exactly where you are. You're going the right way, and you look over your shoulder, and you can see this thing again. And it's it's not gained any more distance on you. But you've stopped for just a moment to get your bearings, make sure that you're going in the right way, and you are. And this thing just it's almost entrancing in some horrifying way. Almost like it's cast some sort of beguiling spell on you that you want to stay here and interrogate it and see what information it has and what it is, what even this creature is. But you shake that off because you don't want to end up red bulled like the thing you handed it. So you snap your head back into the game, rush back down one or two more hallways, peel around a corner, and you see no light where you would have expected to see the light from the manhole cover being uncovered, but you're almost certain this is the right one. You rush up, turn on your heel, and you can see the recessed ladder leading up to the manhole. The manhole is covered.
All I can fucking do is throw my body at it and hope it opens.
Okay.
She's not getting away otherwise.
climb up you climb up the ladder as quickly as you can, reach the top, push a shoulder on it, or put a hand on it and start to shove with your shoulders as best as you can. Roll a tough check.
Yeah, yay. Straight 2d6.
Let's go.
Hey!
The fear in your body driving you grab it, and without even like a second of hesitation, you find the strength and it gives, and you hear the as it comes loose. You push it up and over and hear the crash and the as it comes to a stop, and climb up and out. And as you do, your breathing starts to slow, and you're thinking, okay, I got away. And you look back down into the manhole. You don't see the creature, and you don't hear it either.
Ah,
This brief.
She's
Go
gonna
ahead.
get space. She's okay. It's not coming out after me. Let me keep going.
Are you gonna cover the manhole, or are you just gonna book it?
She's booking it.
Okay, so you're just fucking running. All right, so you run. Are you running back to your apartment, or are you running to a different place?
I mean, towards the apartment. She's probably gonna
Okay.
slow down eventually before that, but
Okay. So roll me. What is your tough defense?
8.
8. Okay.
I got 8s
So
and
you're
11s. That's all I got.
perfect. So you're just running as hard as you can for a good bit. You don't need to make a check for this because it's late enough and there's not really a heck of a lot of people who run walk around outside at Adam's ward as often. It is effectively nighttime though. You lost a disturbing amount of time in there, far longer than you could have imagined. But you disregard that for the time being and run and run and run and run. You don't hear the scraping metal sound the entire time. And you slow down as you get close to the block your apartment's on, and you look behind you, and streets are empty. There's no metal on metal sound. There's no eyes in the darkness. It is deserted.
She'll, when she feels like she's not being chased, she'll check those photos.
You pull the photos up on your phone, and you can see the photos show the eyes and this jumble of metal shards on this thing. The lighting without the flash is kind of splotchy. You can see that this is definitely some kind of creature. You took a second picture as you were rushing, and that one's certainly more blurry. In that one, though, you can see what you know as an over 6 feet long disjointed pseudopod with metal bits jutting out of it. But the picture itself is very cryptid blurry, as you would expect.
She'll send those along to the whoever did the posting. Like, don't know about like a large population, but there's definitely something down there.
Okay.
She heads to the apartment.
So you head to the apartment, and you get no reply for quite a while, just like probably for most of the walk back to the apartment. But as you're about to enter, as you're going up to your floor, you get a notification. You had 3 cash transferred to you, and the only note is from what was ostensibly this overtly silly post of like, need pictures of subterranean mutant colonies, blah 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 blah. You just get a single note that says, "Thanks, Jay."
Jay.
Like -J.
Okay, cool.
And
Didn't die.
yeah, and at this point, most of you would have returned to the apartments. And as a last little bit, somewhere not not too far from the edge of Adam's ward, the uncovered manhole sits on an empty street, and no one appears to be walking by when a lone vestigial arm reaches up and breaches the surface. And that is where we will end the session.
Holy shit.
We went from like funny haha engineering bullshit to fucking body horror near death experience.
Wow.
Yeah. I told you I was like I was like, man, I fucking love sci-fi horror so much. It's underutilized, and I saw an entire chapter in this book dedicated to talking about a particular sci-fi horror thing, and I was like, well, if you insist.
Y'all got some interesting conversations with Legacy that night.
Yeah. He'll just come home like Kai's about to fucking like start up a search party for her.
Like, I almost died. I almost died.
Jesus Christ.
Look at that, you didn't die though.
But you didn't.
I have 3 cash
Okay.
that I have to spend before next session.
I will say that the cash that you guys got for this session, you will have to spend on things at the start of next session.
Okay.
Just look through the peruse the menu for things that you're interested in, and we can do the shopping next time.
Woo! Oh wait, what am I bothering? I want to get Larry arms.
You know exactly what you want already.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's something that can make her bike better.
There could be. I mean, I'm willing to like bullshit some stuff that you guys could buy.
They're like a new helmet.
Yeah, I guess. You could get. Oh, you know, it'd be cool is if you could get like a helmet attachment that allows Larry to like move his consciousness into the helmet.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you like that one?
That'd be so cool.
You broke Amy.
Yes.
You gave Amy many things to be happy about this session.
Do I want that, or do I need to save more money to get that?
Oh man. Just have like the equivalent of like Jarvis, like an Iron Man suit, but like
Mm-hmm.
in Kaya's helmet, and it's Larry.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Also, very, very neat NPC.
I'm glad you like him. He is a retooling of a character that I used in a different campaign.